Up, Last War Family, it's your boy OMFG Joe from server 379. The new transfer surge dropped immediately after Season 3 ended. So this is going to be an interesting transfer surge. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see where they've improved, where the game needs to still improve, and talk about it in detail. All right, before we get started, though, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Consider membership. Members get access to videos the day that I make them. I apologize for not having as many videos dropping lately. At my office where I normally post the videos, I've got a lot stored up for you guys to be able to drop a bunch of videos coming up here daily for you guys. But for some reason, the signal for AT&T, who is just the service I use, has turned to crap for posting them on here, and it just circles and circles and circles and never post. But I will post a bunch of them tonight when I get home for you guys to stack them up for the next few days. All right, let's go ahead and get to it here. So if you go into your end of Season 3, you got to click on Season 3. You're going to go into your Transfer Surge. Transfer Surge is going to begin 14 days after. The prep stage is going to be in the first 7 days, it appears. And let's go and take a look at it and see. First of all, it's going to be the same thing as previously. You're going to need 50 of the tickets. I would say for people who are thinking about transferring in the future, go ahead and load up on these tickets as you go through every week when they pop up. But otherwise, you're going to want to go and purchase one pack for 50 of those will be $10. All right, so where has the game improved and where has the game continued to have some limitations? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. So you're going to have 3 different types of groups that are going to what you're going to be able to do as far as transfer. You've got your super limited, which doesn't, surprise me here. Both Uno and Foge are both extremely strong. Those that are going to be extremely limited on who they can have in, as you can see here. I'm going to zoom in on it for you guys. They are going to get 0 elite players available to transfer, only 3 of the second tier, 30 of the blue, and the gray are only going to allow 40 transfers in. So let's go ahead and move past that one. The next grouping are going to be semi-opened, I believe is the language for it. Take a look up here at it. Semi-opened is going to allow 1 gold. As you guys can see here, you're going to have 1 gold seat, 1 elite seat, 5 of the purple seats, 40 blue seats, 60 of the silver/gray seats. And now a fully open server like this one here. This is going to be server 361. They are fully open. That fully open server is going to have 2 gold seats available. They're going to be able to bring in 2 elite players if they can get them. 8 purples, 8 of the secondary, next to elites. 60 of the blues, and 80 of the silvers. The silvers are going to be like your new players, people who are trying to learn still. 60 is going to be a real core of the blues are going to be cores of an alliance for the most part. Your purples are typically going to be the stronger fighters on there, and then your golds are going to be, of course, your whales on your servers to your dolphins, is what we call them here on Last War. That dolphin, being the people who aren't spending nearly as much as the whales, but have a big enough squad to be typically in that top 5, I believe is what it says, top 5% of the game. So have they done better on these ratings? Let's go and take a look here. So, and I would say yes, but I'll tell you, later too, where I think that they've struggled as well. But let's go ahead and look at it. This is where it's gotten better. As you can see, anything at 18.6 million or more as far as the transfer score is going to be elite. I am at 19.2. That made me elite. I am what you would call a dolphin. I am not nearly as strong as some of these others that are just way, way, way stronger than me. But this squad is fairly strong compared to the other ones that are inside of our server grouping. But, let's go ahead and take a look at that real quickly and see. So you've got the elite, your contributors. The contributors are 5.5 million to 18.6 million. These numbers are not transparent enough. They need to be more transparent on it, but let's go and look at it. Transfer score won't change the number of vouchers needed. Transfer score measures the commander's highest historical power, including buildings, heroes, units, tech, and drones, and the Overlord. Hero power, only the top 15 heroes with the highest power are counted. Unit power, only the top 3 squads fully deployed with units are counted. And your transfer score is calculated at the start of the prep day and will not change afterwards. They do not tell you when that transfer score is made, though. That is kind of a lie because it says at prep day, but it isn't. They're not telling us when they're doing it. All right, so let's go and look at Warzone transfer score. So a fully open standard. So to maintain game balance, the criteria for fully opened or semi-open Warzones may differ depending on the Warzone grouping or groups, and frequency of transfer openings. Warzones exceeding semi-open standards will enter a limited open state, allowing 40 followers, 30 pioneers, 3 contributors to transfer. Warzones that meet or are below the semi-open standard but still exceed the fully open threshold will enter semi-open mode, allowing 60 followers, 40 pioneers, 5 contributors, and 1 elite. Warzones that meet or fall below the fully open criteria will be fully open, permitting 80 followers, 60 pioneers, 8 contributors, and 2 elites to transfer in. So even if your team has been, had struggled, I don't know if 361 did, but let's just use them as an example. If 361 was struggling, see how that transfer score for them is at a 2.7. If they struggled, then and they had really hard times during, and then same thing for 368, 371, it can really open it up to allow you to potentially get stronger in your next round. Where I am saying that they've really done well here is not the individual scoring. It's better, but it could be even better. Is this? So let's go and look at it. So you can see that a 2.9 is fully open. That might be the highest at fully open. Let's keep scrolling to see. It looks like 2.9 may be the limit for fully open. Again, transparency on what fully open fully is would be much better. But that 2.9, I'm not unhappy with at least knowing that part on it. And here's the, so you can see it on it again. As you look at us, my server at 3.8 being semi-open. Let's go here. But you also got a 5.8 that's semi-open. That's a bit of a giant gap, and let's show you why. Let me go show you some of the servers that probably are too strong to have gotten approved for it. Let's go ahead and use this one here. When you got a hero power of 235 million for Lovely, very strong, great player, Rich at 201, Bomb at 181, Bombs BB at 181, Strad at 174 almost, Venom at 152, 151, 151, 149, 145. Those are all on one server, right? Well, if you go and look here, and now we'll go ahead and use this one as our next example. You've got 232 million. That's very strong player, 201, 172, and then it drops down to 147 immediately, which is still very strong. But that makes sense on why this one, even with an extremely strong elite player like the Devil, I believe is how that translates to, and a secondary one with Sign Off, I believe is what that translates to, being very strong as well. Those are both very, very strong, and Mike's a good, strong player around my same ranking. But that drop off to 147 to the 4th ranked person, it would make sense that they get one. Is that equal to or even close to equal to this power? It's not. It's not equal at all. That's a big gap. And then a bigger gap, we'll see here in just a moment. Let's go and click on this one. I haven't even looked at this one. Let's just look at this one for the fun of it. 199, 171, 170, 163, 158, 157. How is this one limited, right? See the gaps? See how this still isn't working? How is this one? And great server, I'm sure. But how are you going to have this one be so limited on the transfers with 199 million, 171, 170, 163, 158, 157 when 363 is stronger already, obviously stronger. And let's keep going. Let's click right here. Total hero power, same thing. This one is, and again, not saying anything negative about these servers. I hope you guys understand that. RKO appears to be a very strong, hard-working team. Our drop-off is significant, though, at the 20th rank right here, right? And then to say that that is equal, or excuse me, that is stronger. The game is rating this as a stronger server than this server. That's asinine. That's insane. It's crazy. It makes no sense. It's a complete fallacy. And look here. Yes, that was at 133 on their 20th and 128 here. So basically what they're telling you, and what appears that they're doing, would be my guess, is if you scroll all the way down here to 200, they're ranking the top 200 total, and they're going, oh, yeah, since they've got, this one's only 82 million at 200. I haven't even checked this yet, but I can almost certainly tell you this is what's going on. They're using that 200th ranked player as the catalyst, and it's the same issue they made originally and still are making, in my opinion, with the other stuff. And they're going, oh, this one's 200 ranked players to 95 million, and that one's 85. So because of that, we're going to use that one as a catalyst for whether or not they get transfers in. Silly season, makes no sense at all. And then here, if we go look at this one, sorry to you guys in 366, you guys are, they're just getting screwed. There's no other way around it. They are absolutely getting screwed based on the fact that they must be, and let's just check and see, they're 200, and it's still, there's no math that even makes sense. They're 200th players at 85. So I guess it's just averaging all these out. I'm not doing the math on all that. I could, but I'm not going to. Somehow, some way, their average is falling into a higher number here. And as we all know that play this game on a regular basis, and if you're not, if you're fairly new to it, the whales win, 9 times out of 10. You can beat them, if you have a really strong team that's playing together. But to rank this and limit this place from having a gold player, all you're doing then is you're then making these top few people. Let me go back to hero power again. You're making TF, T7, Abood, and Abu Nasser, and The End, and Dark Soul, and Muchiro, and so on. You're making them just go, you know what, it might be best to leave. We've kind of got, I can't bring in a gold. How am I even going to compete if I end up, against 363? This one is one that I feel like is ranked very well. Big fan of Lily and HIO. That's a pretty fair ranking to have them have one come in. I agree with that. She's at 202. She needs, one more big one to come in, with her and Connie, and then they could be in really good shape as a server. And it's fair to have that come in. But then again, too, how are we ranking that the same? And let's just go scroll further down here. $189, $173, $156. Let's scroll in. This one's getting 1 as well, right? I'll show you guys my server in just a second as well. 81. There's no way this is equal. And somehow, some way, 363 just hit on the cusp. And 363 deserves to get a gold, to get in. It's just that they're silly seasoning on deciding when some shouldn't. And it makes no sense at all. Let's go back. Let's go here. Let's take a look here. Orang, Great Alliance here. 269, 202, 175, 158. I think we're on the Chip, great guy there. I think we're on the cusp of whether or not they should be limited. But Orang's score is just basically making them way out. So what happens now if Orang goes, hey, I don't want to stay here, where I'm going to get just, I'm not getting a fair shake. I'm not getting a gold to come and help me. So I'm leaving. Well, then what's that put this? Let's say that Orang could leave. Pumpkin Kitty could leave. And I'm around this same ranking. That's 175. So then Do is left as the best. And then Mangang is left as the second best. Or say all three of these left. Then you've got 158 million. And you've immediately thrust this server into a status where it's probably going to die. All it takes now is Orang and Pumpkin Kitty leaving. And the server's dying because you've given them no opportunity to get a gold in. Now let's go and talk about one here. Here we go. Great one here. Frog's awesome. This is probably the strongest server overall. So, big fan of Zilla, Jack, Saint Force, all these guys. This is one of the few, and as a gold myself, not looking to go anywhere, but if it's a gold myself, I mean, this is a place I would want to go, and I get why they would limit that. I get it, okay? You've got the strongest server. There's no question about it, right? So I understand it. I get it. But to compare that to the rest of these that are limited to 0 is just not doing at all what they're trying to do, which is fair gameplay. Let's go look at EL3. EL3, great alliance. Had some good battles with them in the season. You got Kaking, BQ, awesome person. And then you got 160, 76, 159. We're in the same scenario, right? So Kaking and BQ could both go, you know what? We're out. And same thing here. All three of these could go, we're out. We're at a 159. And 159 is great. It's a solid player. But now you're susceptible at that 159 million to just not having any shot in your next season. Okay? So they've just absolutely teetotally just messed up the rankings here. So let's go look here. Pop, Cola, man. Awesome, great people too. Hoes and Heroes. I haven't looked at the translation on this one, so I don't know. This is another server that, yeah, that's fair. It's fair for them to be limited to none and for this upcoming season. Should they limit them on two seasons to that? No, probably not. Maybe, but probably not. Should they limit them to only 3 purples? That's probably also crappy. The amount of purples that should be allowed to transfer need to probably increase at every level. But, here's us. Let's go and look at us real quickly. So now we're in the very bottom, it would seem, of limited open to what do they call semi-open. Okay, so we can bring in 1 gold, okay? Oops. Hero power, 181, 177, 176, 169 million. And Mythic Emperor at that 157 mod. D's at 146 and Huck at 144 and Rock at 140. So again, you're talking about it where you've now only given 2 spots. Now here's the other thing. What should happen is if Orc Liver leaves, that's a gold spot out. The game should then grant us another gold spot. Same thing here. So let's see, it kind of froze up on me, I think. But if one of these other servers has the same thing happen, if a gold were to leave, they should be granted the ability immediately to bring in another gold. It doesn't mean everybody's going to get to. But same thing here. If you have Luffy or YSR or NJM, any of those 3 leave, and NJM may actually, I think NJM would actually fall in, based on what I've seen, would fall into outside of gold. So these 2 would be the gold. If one of these 2 golds leave, then they should get another gold spot. Right now they've only got 1. They're probably in a similar situation to us, if not worse on their ranking. I have to look slightly worse. And probably should be already at 2, honestly. 2 golds that should be allowed. Same thing here. What's to stop Tofu from, Tofu Tofu's going to be able to bring in 2, I believe, and he should be. I mean, that's when I'm looking at this ranking, this is a fair ranking. I agree with this one. So if you go and look at this one, Tofu at 168, 151, 148, 140. Yeah, you deserve 2. You should even give 3 potentially into that one to transfer. And the bigger issue too here is that there's just, like, you see these 32 servers. There's been so many people that quit the game over the timeline that 32 servers is too much for this group that we have now. It really should be condensed really more to a 16 servers left, probably cut it in half, maybe 24 max, and then that could make things more fair. Here we go. This is a server that previously had some stronger people who left, and as you can see, this is that 169, then a 147. Base 134, plain old Mike, great folks. Garrett, I haven't spoken to him much, but I mean, he's a strong player. But, strongish. He's in that dolphin category with me. You're not going to be able to win as much as you need to. You're not going to be able to compete is the bigger issue. Let's go look here. So you got FO1's 199, almost at 2 million. Naughty is at 173. Hippopotamus at 171. Hawk Army at 169. So let's go look at this. And Lord Spartan right there too. Great guy. Let's see where they're at. So here's another massive mistake, right? They got screwed, okay? They're a mistake with the game that made it very easy to accidentally not come in as a gold last season. Prevented their gold accidentally selected not to transfer. And because their gold accidentally selected not to transfer, now they're left sitting at 386. And it didn't grant them a gold from last season. So they should be able to transfer in a gold. They didn't have one come in last season. But it's not allowing them to bring in 2 golds. So they're sitting here at 1 gold even though they didn't have one. It should absolutely carry over from season to season. If you don't get one, you should already be granted one. So what a bad job there. As you guys can see, as we just continue to go through it, the servers are just not even enough. And I'm not asking for fully even by any stretch of the imagination because the server does not determine the whole evenness of it, right? You're battling inside of alliances, but it's not even close to even. And the starting point is making me or someone like me. I'm trying to see. I don't know who would be the bottom level of an elite, but let's just use me. Let's just say I'm on the bottom level of elite. Let's go here. You guys can go and look at my hero power for the fun of it. 176 million. You go and look now. That's a gold. And then again to the great Zilla. You guys saw him earlier. 303 million. Okay. That is well earned. He's earned that ranking. Okay. That means that we're not both elite. That's silly season. I can barely compete with a 230 million without just losing all my troops, boom, 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 just like in a snap at my current level. So that's where the game imbalance is. The game's got to fix those things or the future could be bad. But right now, some small improvements. I go heading in this right direction. They're doing some things well. It's improvement from last server transfer, which was not good. It was a bad job by the developers. But this one's much better. So glad to see it at least improving. And that'll be it for this one, guys. Drop some comments in the videos. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know if you disagree on my assessments on these. But this is where we're at on Transfer Surge. Again, if you want to be able to transfer, you got to be able to get those tickets. It's probably going to cost you $10 unless you've been doing them all season. And you definitely want to reach out to the presidents of the server you're trying to go to so you don't end up getting left out in the cold. Make sure that you've got a spot. All right, that's going to be it for me for this video. Thank you guys as always. This is OMFG Joe from Server 379 signing out.